Good luck, studio. This one on. Testing AB.
Actually, you wouldn't actually notice it by listening, but unfortunately Phil's having a really bad time in Studio 4. The headphones don't work. They're only working one side. So what we'll do is, we've got another tape lined up. Haven't we? Somewhere. Right, so what we'll do is we'll get his headphones. I'll just rush back to the studios. Excuse me for being out of breath. Okay. What we're going to do is repair his headphones, and while we're getting those together, I'd like you to listen to this. Do you remember Inside and Out, the single that Genesis put out? Well, the original track, when they originally recorded it, the second bit, you know where it goes from slow to fast, they did the original thing on acoustic guitars and sort of added stuff on top, and the whole thing sounds very different. The track that you're about to hear is the original version of Inside and Out, the second section of it. Anyway, have a listen to this. Well, that's the original version of the second section of Inside and Out. Another bit from Phil Collins' tape memorabilia store.
trees. The sailboats on me, the breeze. Oh, I'm fighting gravity falling. My daddy won't let them get me. Our voice screams, it seems to be calling. Our face turns, features are burning. Oh, no, oh, yeah. Daddy, you got to go. Go, go, go. See the pigeons going by. Quick, quick, tell the legend of logs. They're running backwards today. And once again, you stand all alone. Bury your memories and bury your friends. Leave it alone for a year or two, till the stories go hazy and the legends come true. Then do it again. But some things never planned. Oh, Daddy, you promised. You promised. Daddy.
Marvellous. Can you hear me, Phil?
I can, yeah.
That was, I think we better turn the ADT off. Are you there?
I am, yeah. I'm
Well,
Nick.
thank you for that. That was great.
That's very nice of you. Can I get dressed now?
You didn't bargain for that when you came in, did you?
I didn't, no, I didn't.
Well, do you want to do another one? Like Los Endos?
Yes, I'll hum along with the chorus. I think I'll come in and play some records. It's much
All right,
easier,
come in.
you know.
Well, I've got Jackson Brown lined up. And remember, we've still got your jacket to give away.
Can I say something? You're going to play the Loadout, right?
No, I was going to play Running on Empty. Do you want me to play Loadout?
Oh, could you play the Loadout? I'll tell you something. I'd like
right.
to... This song, right, is... Jackson Brown writes some very nice songs, but this song really does put like life on the road, with the road is, and the part the audience doesn't see, you know. It really puts it very nicely, lyrically. And I'd like to dedicate the thing to Jeff Banks, Andy McCrill, Dale Newman and Dan Owen, who are our 4 permanent roadies that they've worked their asses off for us this year. So, I mean, I don't know if they're listening, but if they're not, someone will tell them. But it really puts it into perspective. So it's The Loadout by Jackson Brown.
Dedicate that to all your road crew.
All the roadies, and so the Shoko people in Texas, who of course won't be listening. But yeah.
One of the things that I mean, while we're talking about gigs and road crew and things, we also talked briefly about that television show that went out nationwide. Yeah. I've worked with you a couple of times. Obviously, the Genesis, when we did Genesis live at Oz Court, and seeing the arrangement there, and I obviously worked with you at Nebworth the last time you were there. The actual organisation that goes behind you, I think was only superficially shown, to be honest, in that nationwide thing, because there are so many people, and the whole thing is coordinated to such the nth degree. It sometimes frightens me, if one guy actually puts a foot wrong, that the whole thing could just fall to pieces totally.
Well, I mean, the travel agent is a classic example of that. I mean, you never get to see a travel agent or a tour manager. In fact, the tour manager, Dick Fraser, who's sort of model coddled, if you like, our way across the world so far this year and last year and 1976. He wasn't even shown. I mean, if he puts a foot wrong, if we get on the wrong plane, if we end up in New Orleans when we should be in Baltimore, then of course we're in trouble. Or if the reservations aren't made with the airline or whatever. It's even as far back as that, you know. So there are, of course, there's an awful lot of people there.
But what about the sort of personal problems? Because you have been on the road now. You just come back from America, where you've done the third leg of your American tour.
Right.
You're just about to go off again to Japan. I mean, you're married with, you've got a couple of kids. I mean, obviously, occasionally you take the wife and the kids along with you.
Right.
But,
Well, it's
I mean,
difficult.
it must be tricky.
Sure it is. It's very frustrating because, I mean, one of my children is at school, she's 6. And before she started school, Andy was my wife, and Jolie, which is the little girl, they used to come pretty much everywhere. But it's hard, you know, I mean, Andy is torn between wanting to be with me and taking Jolie away from school, which is obviously something that you can't really do. It gets very frustrating. I speak to her every night from wherever I am, unless there's a huge time change. Like in Brazil, for instance, it was quite a hassle to try and get continental lines, you know, back to England. But usually I speak to her every night, and we try and keep sane, you know, on the phone. And there's a strain, of course, there's a strain, but. You know, it's like you can't tell Michelangelo not to paint, and you can't tell a writer not to write. You can't tell a musician not to play. It's very hard.
I think. Do you remember that track by the Average White Band, "Work to Do"?
Yeah.
Remember that from the first album? I mean, that sort of epitomises it. You know,
Right.
I've got work to do. It's Capital on a Friday night. My guest live in the studio is Phil Collins. I think we could go on like this all night.
Really?
Unfortunately, fortunately, Mike Allen is coming on after the news at 11, and he's going to be playing Steel Pulse. Another chance to hear them in concert between 11 and midnight. And then from midnight to when we go live to the Best Disco in Town, the last in the present series, and Roger Scott will be presenting that. And then Mike Allen's coming back from the Best Disco in Town for the last hour of the late show between 1 to 2, and playing some great records. And in fact, there's a rather obscure record that Phil would like me to play in just a minute. Is rather obscure.
Right, it's by a guy, a singer-songwriter that I did an album for in 1974 probably. He's Irish, his name's Eugene Wallace. No one ever heard the album, and I think this particular cut, alongside a few others, are really strong, so I thought I'd like to... I think so. He made 2 albums actually, and I played on both of them, and I really got to know the guy very well. I think he's got a really strong voice, and he wrote a couple of nice songs, yeah.
If you're interested, the album is called Book of Fool. It's on ABC.
Actually, that's the American. That's the American. It's on. It was on EMI here.
Right, and that track was Don't You Feel It?
Yeah.
Talking about other stuff that you do, Eno brought out an album, or his current album is Music for Films,
Right.
and you're playing on some tracks for that, which go back a long time.
Right. Well,
it's a fragmented album.
The first thing I did was on Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy. I did a track on that. Then I did Another Green World. All the drums on Another Green World. All the drums, or most of the drums on Before and After Science. And Music for Films, which was taken from the sessions from all those albums that we never actually used.
Because you're always, I mean, whenever I sort of, you're in this country, you're always sort of in and out of studios as well. I mean, with other people. I mean,
right. Well, I get a lot of pleasure from that, because basically, especially with Genesis, now I'm singing. I don't actually get 100% chance to play. So I like to, and also I like to sort of not to pigeonhole myself with one particular type of music. I like to spread myself around. I just did an album with Rod Argent, which is very good. It's going to come out in January, which, in fact, he's got some very strong songs in it.
Listen, we're getting terribly late. We've got 70 minutes of the programme left.
True.
2 commercial breaks to get in. And we've still got these
gear.
Things. Listen, let's take the break and come back and we'll do the competition then. 11:15. I think we better do that competition now. So
Okay,
you've got the idea, so you go ahead.
Well, we got this green jacket that Nicky was saying. We got a well-used tambourine. We got a pair of drumsticks which have been used. What we want is the first caller to come up with the names of the 3 temporary members of the band that have been in the lineup in the last 2 or 3 years. The 3 temporary members, and that's basically it. The first person gets all 3.
All right, and the number to call
is 484.
Yeah, go on.
484-5255. 484-5255.
And if you live outside London, 01.
01.
Right.
484-5255.
Now we've got time for, I think, probably 2 tracks. The last one that I'd like to finish on is something from Genesis Live at Oz Court, Robbery, Assault and Battery. This was a record that you wanted to play.
Yes, I think it definitely captures an era. Beatle records are always, people always remember what they were doing at this particular time. Revolver was such a strong album, and a very strong moment for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people. This is Tomorrow Never Knows.
I haven't played that track or heard that track for ages, actually. 1966.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded
it. Seem like that?
It does, 12 years ago, yeah. I was just saying I wouldn't mind a bit of whatever they had when they did that.
Anyway, we've got about a minute left because I want to play this thing from Genesis Live at Earl's Court. So when are you off to Japan? I mean, you're
23rd of November.
23rd, because Japan is an incredible market, so everyone tells me.
It is,
go
yeah.
Bananas over there.
Well, it's we've never been there before, so it's going to be an experience for us, and hopefully it'll be an experience for the people over there, because I mean we haven't sold any records over there. It's starting to pick up a bit now, and as is usually the case when we go to a place, it starts a lot of interest. So that's the way we're going to have to do it. We're going there for the 6 concerts. The tickets have been sold already, so it'll be good. But
how big a show are you taking there with you?
we're cutting down. We're cutting down. We're not taking mirrors. We're not taking a few of our roadies. We're trying to. We would have lost a substantial amount of money had we taken everything, because we're playing very small theatres. Well, very small. We're playing 3,000 seater theatres. So it's good because it's going to be a preface to that next year of ours.
And then you start actually. Are you thinking about the new album now? Are there any ideas down for it?
Oh yeah, I mean Tony, Mike, and myself have been writing since the last album, even songs that have been written before that we've never used. So there's lots of stuff in the post, and basically we're intending to start rehearsing around the end of January, go in the studio around March, April. It'll probably come out around June, which will give us March, April onwards to start thinking, to get some fresh air in our lungs and start thinking about individual things.
Right. Okay, well, to finish off, what I think is, I've had immense fun. I hope you've enjoyed it as well.
Really, I've had a great time.
Now, this is absolutely live. Phil, how's it going? You quite happy? Can you hear yourself in your headphones?
Yes, which makes a nice change from last time.
Okay. Now, if you think Phil's sounding funny at the moment, it's because we've got the double tracking machine on his voice, not on mine, because he needs to sing with that. So what are you going to do first?
I thought you knew.
No, is it carpet crawlers?
No, we're going to do pigeons.
You'll do pigeons first. Okay, well, I'll shut up and the stage is all yours, dear boy.
If you want to join in.
No. 1, 2, 3. Yes? Q-tape.
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 Good luck, studio. Settle down. 50 tons of shit on the Foreign Office roof. We suffers from 9 known diseases. Who gets up in the morning when the sun comes up and makes their beds with paper clips and bus tickets all around their heads? Who congregate around Trafalgar Square, taking pot shots at the tourists. Oh, you got to watch out when you wander around the square in the morning. 'Cause they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Here we have an honest man, a civil servant to boot. He lived high up in the ministry. When he wished to make a point, he knew just what to do. His window ledges were all covered in grease. He said, I want them out of here, I want them gone. Ooh, because you see, hey, oh, don't you see, none of us are getting any younger. You've got to follow your nose, tells you where you've got to go. Well, that's because they're everywhere. They're everywhere. So they called in those men, those horrible men, and set them to work on the rooftop. You see, the van is very plain, but you know they're too ashamed to wear their by appointment badges anymore. Sometimes they use Vaseline, sometimes they use the bill. I've often seen them with a gun. But years go by, old habits seem to die, and nowadays they magnetize them all. Oh, the audition.
That's really good, the way that you harmonise with yourself there. It's very clever there.
Oh, I did cheat a bit, actually. There was a little bit of singing on that. There's only a line. I mean,
It's very good.
a little bit.
Very good. Now, I mean, you're probably aware that when we announce a programme like this, where, you know, you're playing Genesis tracks never before been heard, and here you are singing live in a music studio, you can almost hear the cassettes going round. I mean, you know, Genesis bootlegs. I mean, you're the sort of band that sort of attracts people who want things that are different. Now, I mean, with the record industry sort of falling to bits as it is at the moment, we heard in the first hour of Mummy's Weekly.
Is it?
Well, I mean, EMI have now sold off, what, £70 million worth to a giant American corporation. One of the reasons is that the increase in home taping. I mean, how do you, as a musician who is often sort of bootlegged, I mean, the number of Genesis bootlegs that are around, how do you, as a musician, actually feel about that?
Flattered.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, I collect them, you see. And I do the same to other people. No, I mean, I go around all the, when we were in Germany, Germany's the place for bootlegs, actually, and I always go around and see if there are any new ones. I mean, there's one bootleg that was out before we'd finished the tour.
Really?
When we started touring in 77 with Chester, there was an album out, which must have been from one of the English dates. And it was out before we finished touring, and I mean, I go around and collect them. I mean, I can see it. See, the thing to me, that if people collect bootlegs, they don't buy them instead of albums, you know, they buy them as well as. So I don't think it really harms albums. I can understand a guy buying an album and his mates taping it. That's different. But the bootlegging thing is, I don't think it harms record sales at all.
But a lot of artists would actually say that, you know, they're losing the sort of money, that the PRS, the copyright and all that stuff. I mean, you don't actually make any...
Well, I don't think that's true. I don't, as I say, I don't think people buy them instead of proper albums. I mean, if you buy a cassette of an album, I mean, a pre-recorded cassette of an album, I think you're a bit divvy. Because, I mean, you know, the price you pay, you can get 2 or 3 albums on a C90. And I know Charisma aren't going to like this. But, but basically, I can understand people getting annoyed, or companies getting annoyed at one person buying the album and then taping it for 4 or 5 people.
Because in fact, Charisma, there was a report in one of the music trade papers this week that your record company, Charisma, have in fact intended to, or said that they're going to peg their prices, while EMI and the others sort of put their prices up, and so as Island Records said they're going to peg, which hopefully will be good. Anyway, let's get back to the music, and you brought the original backing track of The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. You brought the whole album in.
Yeah, this is the Tony Banks archives. This is...
Yeah. So, Carpet Crawlers is the one that you decided on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we have a listen to that then? Clear the throat? Yes, he's actually... What a giveaway. He's just dropped the words.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been on the road for a year. What do you expect?
All right. Q-tape. Q-tape?
A son of man disguised to flame to be destroyed. Imaginary creatures trapped in birth on celluloid. The fleas cling to the golden fleece, hoping they'll find peace. Each thought and gesture is caught in celluloid. There's no hiding in my memory. No room to avoid. The crawlers cover the floor in the red oak corridor. On my second sight are people, they've more life than before. Moving in time to a heavy wooden door, where the needle's eye is winking, closing on the poor. Carpet crawlers, heed their callers. We gotta get in to get out. Oh, oh, oh. We gotta get in to get out. Oh, oh, oh. We gotta get in to get out. There's only one direction in the faces that I see, and it's upward to the ceiling, where the chamber's said to be. by the sunlight that takes root in every tree. They are picked up by the man, believing they're free. The carpet crawlers heed their callers. Oh, we gotta get in to get out. Oh, we gotta get in to get out. We've gotta get in to get out. My man and Superman are held in kryptonite, and the wise and foolish virgins giggle with their bodies glowing bright. And through the door, a harvest feast is lit by candlelight. It's the bottom of a staircase that spirals out of sight. Oh, the carpet crawlers heed their callers. Oh, you gotta get in to get out. You gotta get in to get out. We've gotta get in to get out. The porcelain mannequin with shattered skin fears attack, and the eager pack lift up their pictures. They carry all they lack. All the liquid has congealed, which has seeped out through the crack, and the tickler takes his stickle bag, 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 bag. Carpet crawlers, they heed their callers. Oh, we gotta get in to get out. We gotta get in to get out. We gotta get in to get out. We've got to get in to get out. We've got to get in to get out. You know, we've got to get in to get out. Get out, get out, get out. We've got to get in to get out. Get out. Oh, we've got to get in to get out. Get out, get out. Oh, carpet crawlers, heed their callers. Oh, we gotta get in to get out. We've gotta get in to get out. Oh, we've gotta get in to get out. Yes, I'm gonna. Oh, that's it. Subtle fade. Subtle fade.
Subtle fade.
That's a rough. That's a rough.
Wonderful.
That's a rough.
Absolutely wonderful. Very, very good. Phil Collins singing live in our music studio. More in just a sec. Well, that's just about it for this very special edition of Mummy's Weekly. Phil, I've never known an hour go so quickly. It really has. It really has gone quick. We must do this again.
Absolutely.
And actually spend much longer.
Yeah.
Because in fact, we can now say that Capital is going to be embarking on a mammoth project, which in fact I'm already researching, which is the Genesis story.
That's quite correct.
Which we're going to be doing, and I'm going to be talking to all of the band, not just the band now, but the band as it was many years
Thousands
ago.
of people that have been.
We're going to go back to Charterhouse and I mean all that sort of stuff, and talk to everyone that's known you chaps. And it's a mammoth project, and hopefully it'll be out around the time that the new Genesis album comes out.
That'll be about February, March.
Yeah,
and
which
then,
is-
then there's this tour.
Yeah.
We are going to tour England, although we haven't surfaced this year. We're definitely doing a big tour, all the little places.
Yeah, talk about the tour just a bit, actually, because you're going to be hopefully doing very cheap tickets.
Yes, that is the plan. But you know I can't.
Yes, I got you on that.
You're right. No, in fact, we're going to do. We're going to be playing a lot of the smaller places, and we're going to play theatres. It's basically next year is the small sort of set.
Small is beautiful.
Yeah, we're going to cut down and sort of just try and get a bit more of the intimacy that we used to have.
Great. Okay.